So we did vote against the 3 new taxes that were proposed.
There is no new tax for legal gun owners, and a lot of people in our district enjoy outdoor hunting, enjoy that sort of thing. That tax isn't there. Anchor is there. Another installment made on Stay New Jersey, very, very important. The senior citizen property tax freeze, fully funded. The pension payment, fully made. Public schools, fully funded, and some additional bonus money floating around on that. So
it's amazing that the amount of effort that's gone into thinking of you, thinking of affordability. Welcome to another edition of State House Minute. I'm Assemblyman Dave Bailey.
I'm Assemblywoman Heather Simmons.
And Senator John Burzichelli.
So today, John, we're going to talk a little bit about the budget, 2026 budget that just passed. And we're going to start off with you. You sat on the Budget Committee in the Senate.
And for those watching, what's very important for you is what's in it. And we don't have enough time to explain all that to you because it's multiple pages. It's $58 billion plus with a $6.7 billion surplus as we record this today with the chaos in Washington. A lot of things may change very quickly coming with the fall. But a couple things that the three of us had an interest in was some stuff that's not in it's very important. Like, for example, there is no new tax for legal gun owners on either buying a new gun or purchasing ammunition. And for some people who don't enjoy the sports of firearms, that may not be important to you. But there's 151,000 firearms sold in the state every year on average for the last 4 years. There was a new tax on alcohol, and myself as a martini drinker, not that I'm drinking so many of them, but the point is that these are taxes that were going to be imposed in the governor's address that we were able to negotiate out collectively, 3 of us involved as well as others. And, there were things that touch people, like pickleball, for example, and bowling was going to be taxed. That stuff is not there. So there are a couple new taxes. If you're selling a home, it's over $2 million, there'll be a new realty transfer tax. As a seller, you'll have a new tax. There's going to be more tax on cigarettes, and there's going to be a little bit of higher tax on internet gaming and sports wagering. And that was all negotiated with the Casino Commission. But most important, and I say most important, a lot of things are important, but property tax relief, Anchor is there. Another installment made on Stay New Jersey, very, very important. The senior citizen property tax freeze, fully funded. The pension payment, fully made. Public schools, fully funded, and some additional bonus money floating around on that. So all in all, it's a document I think that it's what people are expecting from this government, and there's a price tag to it. But unlike the chaos in Washington, we finished this not having called each other names, not having had major arguments, some disagreements in policy between our side and the other side of the aisle, but not unfriendly. And both of you were in the middle of all of it, so you know firsthand. It's a negotiated process.
Well, I think you made a good point, John, that we really can't control what happens in Washington, but we really can control what happens here. And I think that this budget really focuses squarely on seniors and families and schools. And that was really important to all 3 of us. And I think it's important to note that while a number of those luxury taxes were negotiated out of the budget, several others were left in. You mentioned the tax on cigarettes, the online gaming, and the real estate assessment on the $2+ million valued homes. Now, we voted against those taxes because we believed firmly that the funding in the budget was and would be available without raising those taxes. And that was something that as a commissioner in Gloucester County, we were focused on very much so. And I helped to lead the charge to pledge not to raise taxes and to freeze spending for 3 years in a row. And by the way, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle voted against doing that. But we felt strongly that not raising taxes and freezing spending was a priority. And we went into Trenton with the same philosophy. So we did vote against the 3 new taxes that were proposed.
That's right. And I'll just wrap it up by saying I was shocked when you say, if we were to guess today, take a survey, what percentage of this budget, of the $55+ billion that and $56 billion in spending was toward property taxes? What percentage? 49% is going toward property taxes. 49%. So it's amazing that the amount of effort that's gone into thinking of you, thinking of affordability, and making sure that we also have a lot of great things in there to think of families, to think of families that are hurting in different areas. And we're going to talk a little bit in another podcast when we talk about electricity and electric bills and affordability and our utility costs as well. But John, thank you so much for all your efforts on this budget and all the many hours and effort that you put into making this right.
Well, but by the way, and I realize we try to keep this as short as we can, your point about the amount of budget that comes back into households is significant because that involves municipal aid and involves school aid. If you take those two things out and had to make them up with property taxes, you wouldn't be able to live here, as expensive as it is now. So there is a real focus on this, and as you get acquainted with what this budget does, you're going to find that I think the focus was correct. And I'll close out with this. We're taping this, July 2nd. July 2nd. With what's happening in Washington, when we come back in the fall, we may find with Medicare changes and things of that nature that surplus is now going to have to be looked at differently. There are serious storms in front of us with regards to the federal government walking away from helping average households like so many of our constituents would be considered. So that being said, we're focused on that. In the short term, we made our constitutional obligation. There's an adopted budget. It's balanced. The amount of new reoccurring debt is extremely better than it's been, and the surplus is at $6.7 billion today. So, good effort's been made.
This has been State House Minute, and I'm Assemblywoman Heather Simmons.
I'm Assemblyman Dave Bailey.
Oh, and I'm Senator John Burzichelli.
We'll see you next time.